They'll tell you success is about money, fame, the car, the house. But they'll never tell you what it costs. They'll show you the highlight reel, but not the nights you cry alone. They'll celebrate the wins, but never whisper about the sacrifices. So today, I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm here to tell you the truth, because the truth, that's what sets you free. This is what they'll never tell you about success. You see, most people want success, but they don't understand what they're asking for. They think success is this neat little package tied with a bow. Wake up early, hustle hard, get the bag, but what they never tell you is this: success is messy, success is lonely, success is expensive. 1. They never tell you that success requires losing people. You'll outgrow friends, you'll scare small minds, you'll stop being fun. To people who only know how to waste time, they'll say you've changed. And you know what? You have to. If you want to live an extraordinary life, you can't hang with ordinary people. Success doesn't come with comfort, it comes with sacrifice. And sometimes that sacrifice is love, time, validation. 2. They never tell you that success is built in silence. Everyone wants to go viral. Everyone wants the spotlight. But the real work, it's done in the shadows, the early mornings, the late nights, the quiet weekends grinding when no one's watching. Champions are made in private. The applause comes after. The mastery happens before. 3. They never tell you how much mental war you'll fight. Every day your mind will whisper, you're not good enough. You're falling behind. Why bother? But here's the secret. The most successful people aren't fearless. They're masters at acting despite fear. They've trained themselves to do it anyway. They've conditioned their minds to follow courage, not comfort. This isn't about motivation. This is about standards. And your standards will always determine your outcome. 4. They never tell you that success will test your identity. You're going to have to kill the version of you that settles. You're going to have to destroy your excuses, your doubts, your victim story. You'll have to look in the mirror and say, I am done playing small. You'll go from asking, can I do this, to declaring, I must. That shift, that's where the breakthrough happens. That's when the tide turns. 5. They never tell you that success doesn't care about talent, it rewards hunger. Talent is cheap. Drive is everything. You don't have to be the smartest in the room, but you better be the most relentless. You better outlast them, out-believe them, outwork them. Obsession is the price, so what is success? Really, it's not the private jet, it's not the millions, it's not even the praise. Success is living fully. It's waking up on fire. It's pushing when you want to quit. It's becoming the person you were born to be. So here's what they'll never tell you. You already have everything you need inside of you. The pain, the doubt, the fear, it's not your enemy. It's your invitation. Your story doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Your journey doesn't need permission. It needs a decision. So don't wait for the world to hand you your greatness. Claim it. Build it, live it, because this is what they'll never tell you about success. Success demands sacrifice. Not the kind you post about, not the kind that gets applause, but the kind that happens in silence, in the background, and often with a lot of pain. One of the first things you realize on the road to greatness is that not everyone can come with you. The further you go, the more alone it starts to feel. It's not personal, it's physics. You cannot elevate while dragging weight that refuses to move. You'll outgrow people, that's a fact. Friends you laughed with for years, people who once believed in you, will suddenly seem distant. Not because you've turned your back on them, but because your vision makes them uncomfortable. They see you changing, evolving, and deep down, it challenges their own lack of movement. The same people who once supported you might start saying you've changed. And here's the truth, they're right. You have, because if you're not changing, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. But it doesn't stop there. Success also requires sacrificing comfort. That means saying no to the party so you can show up early. It means turning off Netflix to turn on your strategy. It means trading temporary pleasure for long-term gain, and that's not glamorous. It's not sexy. It's discipline. It's delayed gratification. It's choosing what you want most over what you want now. Even more brutal is the sacrifice of validation. In the beginning, you'll look around and realize you don't have a cheering section. There's no one patting your back, no one handing you permission. You'll have to learn how to clap for yourself, to be your own source of fuel. Because if you're waiting for everyone to believe in you before you start, you'll never start. And once you do succeed, get ready, some people won't be happy for you. Your growth exposes their stagnation. Your progress reminds them of their passivity. And rather than rising with you, they'll retreat from you. This is the side of success nobody wants to talk about, the loss, the detachment, the loneliness. But it's real, and if you're not prepared to let go of who and what no longer serves your future, you're not ready to rise. Success isn't built in the spotlight, it's built in silence. It's not the viral post or the big announcement that creates results. It's the work you do when no one's watching, the hours you spend refining your craft in solitude, the countless repetitions, the quiet discipline. That's where transformation happens. In today's world, it's easy to get distracted by appearances. Social media has created a culture where everyone wants to look successful before they are successful. But appearances don't build empires, consistency does. While others are chasing recognition, the real game changers are in the shadows doing the work. They're not worried about being seen. They're focused on getting better. And this is what separates the good from the great. Greatness is forged in the unglamorous, the 5 a.m. grind, the weekends sacrificed. The lonely evenings spent planning, studying, building. It's the hundreds of attempts that never made it to Instagram. It's the nights you question yourself, but keep going anyway. While others are sleeping, relaxing, or celebrating too soon, the few who truly want it are locked in quietly, stacking wins no one knows about yet. This silence is powerful because it teaches you to become self-reliant. When there's no applause, you learn to validate yourself. When there's no recognition, you rely on internal drive. That's the difference between those who are temporarily motivated and those who are permanently committed. Temporary motivation dies when the crowd stops clapping, but internal commitment, that lives on, even in isolation. In silence, you're forced to confront your weaknesses without distraction. You're forced to refine your systems, strengthen your mindset, and develop the emotional endurance to last. It's easy to look successful once the results come, but it's what you do when no one's looking that determines whether the results ever show up. Most people won't talk about this part. They'll show you the outcome, but never the process. They'll show you the photo, but not the hundreds of moments behind the scenes. But the truth is, every breakthrough that looks sudden was built quietly, through repetition, effort, and resilience. The ones who win are the ones who commit to the grind long before the reward appears. The journey to success is a mental war, and it never truly ends. Every day, your mind becomes a battlefield. Fear, doubt, insecurity, they don't disappear as you grow. In fact, the further you go, the louder they become. People assume that successful individuals are fearless, but that's a myth. The truth is, they've just learned how to act in spite of fear. They've trained their minds to push forward even when everything inside them is screaming to stop. Your mind will constantly test you. It will whisper things like, "You're not good enough. You're too late. Who are you to think you can do this?" And if you're not equipped to handle those thoughts, they will win. They will paralyze you. They will keep you playing small, stuck in cycles of almost starting, almost committing, almost finishing. The people who break through aren't the ones who never doubt themselves. They're the ones who don't obey their doubts. Mental resilience is the most underrated skill in the pursuit of success. It's not just about being positive. It's about having the capacity to feel fear and still move forward. It's about knowing how to quiet the noise long enough to take the next step. That takes training. Just like building a muscle, you have to condition your mindset daily. Read, reflect, write, visualize. Whatever it takes to sharpen your inner world. Another part of the mental war is comparison. Looking at others and feeling like you're behind, like you're not progressing fast enough. But success isn't a race. It's a personal journey, and the minute you start measuring yourself against someone else's timeline, you give your power away. You forget that your journey is uniquely built for you, with its own lessons, timing, and rewards. You also have to deal with the emotional roller coaster, the highs of progress followed by the lows of setbacks. One day you feel invincible, the next you wonder if any of it's worth it. These swings are normal, but those who win understand that emotion is temporary and discipline is stronger. They don't wait to feel motivated. They create motion, knowing that action generates momentum and momentum generates belief. Success isn't just a game of strategy, it's a game of mentality, and only the mentally disciplined make it through. To reach the next level of success, you have to let go of the version of yourself that was comfortable settling. That version may have gotten you this far, but it won't take you where you're going. The truth is, every next level of your life will demand a next level of you. That means killing off the habits, the beliefs, the identity that kept you safe but small, and that's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. You can't hold on to your old excuses and build a new reality at the same time. Something has to go. You can't carry the mindset of "I'm not ready," "I'm not enough," or "what if I fail" into the life you're trying to create. Those stories might feel familiar, but they are anchors disguised as comfort. As long as you keep telling yourself those lies, you'll stay trapped in the same cycle, wanting more but never becoming more. Success requires identity death. It demands that you stop identifying with your past limitations and start identifying with your future potential. It's a shift from "who have I been" to "who must I become." That shift is uncomfortable. It challenges your ego. It strips away the version of you that was acceptable to others but unacceptable to your vision. And in this process, people around you might not understand. They're used to the old you, the agreeable you, the you that didn't take risks, that didn't set boundaries, that didn't speak up. When you start evolving, it threatens the status quo, not just for you, but for everyone around you. But you weren't put on this earth to live according to someone else's limits. The moment you stop negotiating with your lower self is the moment you start rising. That means setting higher standards, not just for what you want, but for who you are. You no longer tolerate mediocrity in your work, your health, your relationships, or your thinking. You become unapologetically aligned with your purpose, even if it means walking away from everything that once felt normal. And here's what most don't realize: identity is a choice. You're not stuck with the one you inherited. You can decide right now to become the person who does the hard things, who leads with courage, who executes at a high level. That power has always been yours. Talent is not enough. In fact, talent alone is overrated. The world is full of talented people who never go anywhere with it. The ones who rise, the ones who dominate, are not always the most gifted. They're the most relentless. Hunger, drive, obsession, those are the real separators, because talent might give you a head start, but it's hunger that keeps you in the race when it gets hard. When you're hungry for something, you stop negotiating. You stop making excuses. You don't need perfect conditions, and you don't wait for someone to open the door. You break it down. Talent might show up when it feels like it, but hunger shows up every single day. Hunger pushes you through the setbacks. Hunger keeps you learning when you've already heard no 100 times. It's what drives people to keep swinging even when nothing is working, because quitting isn't an option. Obsession is the engine behind greatness. It's the difference between someone who wants it and someone who needs it. You can tell who's obsessed by how they live. They're the ones who sacrifice distractions, who work in silence, who master the boring stuff. While the world is scrolling, relaxing, or partying, the obsessed are refining. They're building when no one's clapping, staying focused when everyone else is chasing comfort. The most successful people aren't necessarily the most skilled. They're the ones who got addicted to improvement. They didn't need motivation. They had commitment. They weren't afraid to be the worst in the room at first, because they knew they wouldn't stay there. They studied, they repeated, they failed publicly and got back up privately. That's hunger in action. There will always be someone more talented, but talent can't compete with a person who refuses to quit. Someone who wakes up every day with purpose in their gut and urgency in their actions will eventually outpace the person who's coasting on raw ability. That's the truth most people ignore. Talent might open the door, but hunger kicks it off the hinges. The greatest performers, athletes, leaders, creators, they all had something in common: an unshakable drive, a fire that didn't go out when things got tough, a reason so big that it made the pain worth it. They didn't wait for opportunity. They created it through force, consistency, and obsession. Success is not about how much you have, it's about how much you've become. Too many people chase material outcomes thinking they'll feel fulfilled once they have the car, the house, the money, the recognition. But the external will never fix the internal. The real reward of success isn't the thing. It's the transformation that happens on the way to earning it. When you set a big goal and commit to it, it forces you to evolve. You can't achieve something extraordinary while staying the same. You have to level up your habits, your mindset, your standards, your emotional control. That process of becoming, of breaking through your limitations and rewriting your identity, is what brings fulfillment. The car gets old, the applause fades, but who you become in pursuit of your vision, that's permanent. Most people think success is a destination. It's not. It's a mirror. It reflects your growth, your consistency, your courage, your discipline. If you haven't built yourself on the inside, nothing you achieve on the outside will last. That's why so many people hit a milestone and still feel empty, because they skipped the inner work. They focused on looking successful rather than becoming valuable. The people who win long-term are the ones who use success as a tool for expansion. Every challenge they face becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes fuel. They're not just chasing goals, they're chasing growth, and as they grow, the results naturally follow. They don't need shortcuts because they've built themselves into the kind of person who creates results again and again. Success also reveals your true character. It exposes what you believe about yourself. It brings pressure, responsibility, and visibility. If you haven't done the personal work to handle those things, success can actually break you. That's why the real goal should always be to become someone strong enough, wise enough, and disciplined enough to hold success, not just to touch it. Everything you want, confidence, influence, fulfillment, it all starts with who you are when no one's looking. That's the foundation. Success doesn't start when the money hits your account. It starts when you choose to raise your standards, when you demand more from yourself than anyone else ever could. The results are just the receipt for who you've become in the process.